Welcome to the WBNS-TV presentation of the 2013 Jefferson Awards Special. The Jefferson Awards Special is brought to you by Nationwide Insurance and WBNS-TV.
The city of Columbus is blessed with people who have a generous giving spirit, and it's that generous giving spirit that helps to make Central Ohio a special place to live. The faces you see reflect the caring spirit that defines our city. These are the faces of the finalists for the 2013 Jefferson Awards. Each and every one of these people has had an impact on the lives of those around them, proving without a doubt that they care about their neighbors and friends. This trait is evident in all 20 of our 2013 Jefferson Award finalists. Hello, I'm Angela Pace, Director of Community Affairs for WBNS-TV. This program will highlight 5 unique stories about 5 unique individuals who were selected from among 200 nominations. Our first Jefferson Award winner once lived on the streets. He slept in city parks or on the couches of friends. He never really had a place to call home. But this young man now spends his time mentoring and counseling other young people who are also struggling with homelessness.
It started at a young age. I was like 3 or 4 with my mother. For a couple years, we stayed in the park. So they moved me to Ohio, and there they put me in foster homes, and I went through like 7 or 8 of them. I mean, I can admit that for the most of my schooling years, I had an imaginary friend because I knew my imaginary friend would never leave me. And you would make friends, but in the back of my head, I always kept and made sure that I knew that these friends might not be here tomorrow. You know, and that this home that I was sleeping at, I could be at another house next week. So it's hard to even surround myself with friends because I was so scared that if I got too attached to them, it would hurt even more after I knew I would never see them again. I'm a youth advocate and community service activist. I've been involved with the Homeless Families Foundation since 7th grade. Step back, anchor up. But yeah, about 7, 8 years. We do a lot of tutoring sometimes when kids need help with homework. You know, seeing that we're older, it's kind of nice when a kid can talk to somebody else after, you know, just playing with them, that we can sit there and help them with math homework or reading, especially reading. I love helping the kids with reading. You can make a quick trick. If these kids can know, you know, that it's not just old men with carts and that there's also young kids that could be around them at their school as we speak that are homeless. And opening this up will create a peer support, you know, where kids are helping each other instead of them just, you know, running the policies with just adults. And that's where a defensive barrier comes in. You're getting help from your best friend.
So Sills.
That's just with the Dow Center. It's a place that motivates these kids that they can do it. I mean, no matter the situations, education is something that they can achieve, and they can achieve higher education through being in an environment like the Dow Center. YEP, Youth Empowerment Program. We're all kids who have been in situations, and we want to make the situations better in the future. So we strive for change in policy. We like to think of ourselves as experts in our field. I think myself, I'm an expert in foster care and homelessness because I've been through it. It's not, you know, I haven't read a book or taken a class from it, but I've seen the ups and I've seen the downs. I know what works, and I can say I kind of know what doesn't. What inspires me is that I was a kid in the same situations as the kids that I work with. I mean, I had somebody there to big brother me and to mentor me and to motivate me, to let me know that even in my situations that I can still make, I mean, my dreams are still achievable. And it was just that, seeing the success in myself and seeing another smiling face over my shoulder, it made my day a little brighter.
Nashawn Stevens received his Jefferson Award at the Jefferson Awards ceremony in early April. Our congratulations to Nashawn Stevens, an inspirational young man. When we come back, we'll meet a man on a mission to get his neighbors to live happy and healthy lifestyles. We'll be right back. There is nothing like a relaxing walk on a beautiful day. Our next Jefferson Award winner's passion for leading a healthy lifestyle turned a weekly walk into a community-wide fitness campaign.
It's been said, walking is the best medicine. Take it from someone who knows. Dr. Phil Height is the inspiration behind the New Albany Walking Classic.
We started with just my walking around, and then some people would join me for walks, and before I knew it, people from outside New Albany were coming and walking. And then I said, okay, let's start a walking club. So we started New Albany Walking Club.
The motivation was simple for a man who has dedicated his life to health education.
I think people need to take individual responsibility for their own health. And so whether it's through walking, through diet, through an exercise program, that we assume this responsibility so that we could lead a life that's of much higher quality and longer.
By simply walking, you could change a life.
It's a sense of accomplishment. And so that whenever you accomplish something in life, in this case, an athletic endeavor, people feel good. And that sense of feeling good changes one's life, changes their outlook.
As the walks became more popular, Phil Height realized the New Albany Walking Classic was a stair-step to design a community fitness program. Healthy New Albany was a natural way to move his neighbors from simply exercising to adopting healthier lifestyles.
It was all about health. The Walking Classic was never about putting people together and saying, now move one foot in front of the other, but there was this ultimate goal of walking for health and or competition. And we just took that whole concept of health and said, let's have a greater vision and let's form something called Healthy New Albany.
Phil is passionate about health. He's written most of the health textbooks in the United States. He was a professor of health at Ohio State University. He was part of the original marathon movement in New York City in the late 60s. So his whole life has been dedicated to promoting health, and he continues that today. He just cares about people and wants them to lead healthy lives.
Phil Height has strived to create a culture of wellness in his community by bringing his neighbors together.
It started with the city of New Albany, the Walking Club, the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, Nationwide Children's Hospital. It's a partnership, and when you bring different entities together, that's very inspiriting.
Even the longest journeys begin with a single step.
The bottom line is you have to take responsibility for your own well-being and engage in those activities that are going to promote a better you.
Dr. Phil Height is determined to make sure that his neighbors lead healthy, happy lives. Congratulations to Dr. Phil Height, winner of a 2013 Jefferson Award. Our paths in life sometimes take us to places we never expected to be. Our next Jefferson Award winner traveled the world before finding himself back home in Columbus, in the Linden area, feeding and inspiring young people to be the very best that they can be.
Stephen Garland's path to the E.L. Hardy Center in Linden literally took him around the world. A graduate of West High School, Stephen Garland's travels found him in Iowa and South Dakota for college and across the United States as a young executive with IBM. From there, he worked in international business, selling industrial machinery with his father's company. His journey home started with political unrest in Nigeria.
There were a series of coups there. We survived the first two. They went and they arrested all the expatriate contractors, and we were one. And you know, the Portuguese, the English, the French, everybody got arrested. So they think they held me for 2 days and held my father for 3 days, and then let us go.
The ordeal pointed him back home to Columbus. His beginnings at the E.L. Hardy Center began with a talk with his pastor.
The pastor came to me one day and he said, Brother Steve, I need your heart. I said, okay. And we had a meeting and he said, we have these facilities here that we don't use. And I want them to be used and feed the kids.
Feeding neighborhood kids was his primary goal, but a strong program of recreational and educational activities were also on the menu. Stephen Garland knew an enriching environment would make kids hungry for success.
Hopefully, it lets them know what's over the wall. The idea of knowing how things work. At some point in time, you get to a place where you have to trade what you have to society in exchange for money. And that's what we try to instill in them in little ways at first, but then just flat out, when they get to be teenagers, flat out tell them, you know, okay? Just but to instill in them the love of learning. For what we've seen, it works. Okay. Go ahead and take them out.
Okay. His work at the E.L. Hardy Center has sparked a fire in Stephen Garland. He became director of the summer feeding program. Stephen Garland went from feeding 23 kids at the center 5 years ago to serving more than 250,000 meals throughout Columbus in 2012.
Last year, we served about 250,000 meals. We hope to expand by about 20 sites this year in the more densely populated apartment complexes. We're going to be between 400 and 500,000 meals this year.
He welcomes this amazing challenge.
Realizing that this is the least that I can do. Nobody has anything that they haven't been given, especially me. And it's my reasonable service. I mean, this is the least that I can do. If I'm capable of doing it, I should do it. I'm just compelled to do, what I do.
Stephen Garland's dedication to feeding people in need shows his sincere compassion for the communities he serves, and his mentoring of the young people he helps to feed is making a difference in the lives of those children. Congratulations to Stephen Garland, a 2013 Jefferson Award winner. Coming up, we'll meet a young man heading up a courageous fight to find a cure for a painful disease that affects hundreds of thousands of people. We'll be right back. Almost 1 million Americans suffer from Crohn's disease, an inflammation of the intestines. Our next Jefferson Award winner is on a crusade to help find a cure for Crohn's and colitis and to improve the quality of life for those who, like himself, suffer from its extreme pain.
Tyler Moon may look like a typical 16-year-old high school student, but he's anything but typical. He suffers from something that affects almost 700,000 Americans. The disease is Crohn's disease, and living with it is a painful daily challenge.
Well, I have to take a lot of pills every day. I mean, some days I feel awful and have really bad stomach pain where I can't really focus. I might feel really tired, and it's all random. I might seem fine one day and the next day I feel like that.
Crohn's disease is often associated with ulcerative colitis. People who have it experience symptoms of severe stomach pain, fatigue, and diarrhea. The cause is unknown. It is most prevalent among people in their mid-teens to adults in their mid-30s, and it can make a young person feel as if he or she is on the outside looking in. But Tyler decided he needed to make a difference for himself and others.
It was after my diagnosis, and I talked to my parents and decided that I could either be someone that sits around and waits for someone else to do something, or I could stand up and try and make a difference. And I wanted to be the one to try and make the difference and bring about a cure as fast as possible.
As an advocate, his efforts have taken him to Washington, D.C. to speak with congressional representatives.
I've met with the legislators and I've told them my story, and I've just really expressed the need for more funding and for awareness, because so many of these diseases go unrecognized and people don't know what they are, and the medications are very expensive.
Hi, $2.
Tyler raises money in several ways. He supports the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation of America by raising money for their Take Steps annual walk. He has created his own charity called Dine Out for Crohn's and Colitis at Gianmarco's Pizzeria in his hometown of Westerville. Plus, he's raised funds with his fellow students at DeSales High School by selling wristbands for Dress Down Day. The fun event connects his classmates to the disease.
I think they've just learned a lot from it. They didn't know about it before, and they're a lot more accepting of it and understanding, and they try their best to help out in any ways they possibly can.
His outreach also takes him to Nationwide Children's Hospital as a peer mentor to counsel other young people with the disease.
Today I'm meeting with a patient that has had Crohn's disease for most of his life, but he's just now starting a new treatment, and I'm here to talk to him about the treatment because I received the same, and he's just now starting to talk to friends about it, wanting to get involved, so I'm helping him to do that as well.
This understated young man speaks loud and clear when it comes to standing up for others with this disease.
Tyler Moon couldn't make it to the Jefferson Awards ceremony, but his guidance counselor, Roseanne Costello, was there to accept his award for him. Congratulations to Tyler Moon, a 2013 Jefferson Award winner. Stay with us. We'll introduce you to a man whose spirit of volunteerism is the lifeblood of our community. Blood has often been called the gift of life. For 50 years, our next Jefferson Award winner has worked to make sure that there is an ample supply for those here in Central Ohio who need that life-saving gift.
Blood. It carries nutrients and waste, fights infections, and heals wounds. It cannot be made or manufactured, and donors are the only source for patients who need it. Dr. J.S. Jindal is keenly aware of the role that blood plays in our lives. As a board member for the Central Ohio Blood Services region for the American Red Cross, this understanding goes back to teenage years in his native India.
I'm involved since I was 15-year-old, and then in India, I was a regional secretary of Red Cross. Then when I came here, I again involved in Red Cross.
Dr. Jindal also serves on the Diversity Leadership Council. Their goal is to find close blood matches for patients who suffer from blood diseases. He spends countless hours targeting diverse communities to make sure as many people as possible are represented in the local blood bank. The process has its challenges.
A lot of misinformation. Many people are scared of the needle, and that is why they don't want to give the blood. Some people say that in our religion we don't want to give the blood, but that is not true.
Connecting with the community is a large part of Dr. Jindal's work. This blood drive at Faith Ministries Church in Northeast Columbus will add many needed units of blood to the blood bank.
We are expecting about 40 units of blood to be collected today, because Asians, Africans, they have different blood types, which match is important, otherwise it won't be accepted by the body. That is why we just approach Asian and African, Latino communities differently.
To his professional peers, Dr. Jindal's impact on our community has had an exponential effect. Every unit of blood collected can impact 3 people with medical needs. The blood components of plasma, red blood cells, and whole blood offer 3 opportunities to save a life. Dr. Jindal's 50 years with the American Red Cross has touched uncountable lives.
It's simply not calculable for the amount of folks that he's touched and in different areas over 50 years. I don't think we could measure or count the number of lives that he's touched. It's truly mind-boggling.
Dr. Jindal remains humble about his many years of volunteer work.
That is the best job you can do after retirement. So that is what I am doing. It is always good to find a reliable, dependable volunteer.
Dr. Jindal's work is a great example of the selflessness of a dedicated volunteer. Congratulations to Dr. J.S. Jindal, winner of the 2013 Jefferson Award. Welcome back to the 2013 Jefferson Award Special. The Jefferson Award ceremony provides us an opportunity to honor and thank some of our community's most caring individuals. The event was held at the Wigwam, a corporate facility of the dispatch companies. WBNS-TV Community Affairs Director Emeritus Chuck White and I hosted this year's awards ceremony. Our guest heard from Columbus Mayor Michael B. Coleman, Franklin County Commissioner Paula Brooks, 2012 Jefferson Award winner Kate Cook Gatch, and Chad Jester, Vice President of Corporate Citizenship for Nationwide Insurance, our presenting sponsor. And providing a musical salute to our finalists and their guest, local musical great Dave Powers. The work our Jefferson Award winners and finalists do is vital to making Central Ohio one of the best places to live. Each year, one Jefferson Award winner is selected to represent our city at the National Jefferson Award celebration in Washington, D.C. This year, 16-year-old Tyler Moon has been chosen to travel to our nation's capital to meet others who, like him, are doing great works in their communities. Our congratulations to Tyler Moon. If you know of an inspirational individual who goes above and beyond to make Central Ohio a better place to live, nominate him or her for a 2014 Jefferson Award when nominations open in January. Our thanks to all our friends and neighbors who worked so hard to make our community great. And our thanks to you for watching the 2013 Jefferson Award Special. For all of us here at 10 TV, so long.